What's up, friends? Welcome back to KimmyDTV, a place where nurses and aspiring nurses come to achieve academic and career success. I'm so sorry before I got cut off. I had a technical difficulty, but now I'm good. And welcome. There's this YouTuber I watch. I like how she said it. She's like, welcome, friends, foes, and frenemies. No, but welcome, everyone. So in this video, on this live, I'm gonna wait until a couple people get into the building. The building. Hey, I'm gonna wait until a couple people get on. But basically, from my previous live, I think I'm gonna delete the other ones because it's like repetitive. I was talking about the struggles with transitioning from an LPN to an RN, and just to give you guys a quick backstory. Been an LPN for 7 years, then decided, hey, no, I was LPN for like 6 years. Then decided, hey, I want to go back to school to get my RN. That was when I was 5 years. And then on my seventh year of being an LPN, I became an RN, and the main reason why I wanted to become RN was okay, yeah, the pay has something to do with it, but the main reason why was because I was tired of being treated a certain way, and I wanted to change my roles. I wanted to stop working in the typical long-term care facility setting. And I feel like if you're a new nurse, if you're a brand new nurse, there's absolutely like nothing wrong with starting off working in a long-term care facility because it's a great way to get your experience. It's a great way to get your feet wet. But after a certain time, you go back to school to get your RN to like get where it is. And however, the pandemic happened, the virus, and it kind of changed the way I thought too. And so that's I think that's one of the main reasons why I said okay, I don't want to go into at least a medical hospital, like a traditional hospital, because of several reasons, and that being one of them. Just and also I think it's fear as well, fear of being a victim of nurse bullying and just not knowing what you're doing. Because sometimes if you don't know what you're doing, you can be a target for nurse bullying. So that's basically the main reason why. So a lot of things happened really quickly. Fast forward, I moved to Texas. I always wanted to move to Texas. Some people have some opinions like, oh, why did you move, this and that? And my response to that is do you, like it's my life. I decide what I want to do with it, and whatever happens, it's my life, and whoever else has an opinion, like just do you, just live your life. um, if an opinion is negative and it's not asked for, like it's like, well, I kind of give it, but I understand not everybody goes by the same rules. But yeah, so this video is just going to be talking about the struggles of transitioning from LPN to RN. So I've been an RN for since like December, my first job as an RN. I see 4 people watching. Can I get 4 likes? Why did I do that? Can I get 4 likes on the video? So yeah, so when I first started, my first job was actually a travel nursing job as an RN working in a long-term care facility because I already worked with that company before, one, and two, the facility knew I already had long-term care facility experience. So that is why I was able to do a travel nursing job. Now when people think travel nursing, like, oh my God, all this money, but it wasn't as much as a regular RN working in for example, an ICU or a med surge or a telemetry, or I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, or a step down, whatever, of the hospital. So it was less because it was in long term care, but nevertheless, it was long term care. And how did I feel? Well, I felt okay because I was like, you know what? My end goal is to end up in Houston, which was where I was before. In 2018, before I decided to go back for my RN. If you guys can hear me, please say something because I have other noise going around because I'm in public. But if you guys can hear me, please let me know. Somebody write in the screen, I hear you. But yeah, so fast forward. I began working in this when I first came to Houston. I began working through an app, which is a really good app. I'm going to make a review video on it, which is called the Care app. And the Care app, wow, I got 6 people watching. Can I get 6 likes? And let me know if you guys can hear me, because I do have background noise. I don't have a headphone, so let me know if you guys can hear me by writing in the chat. I can hear you. um but yeah, thank you guys for coming in. I got 7 people. Can I get 7 likes? Can I get 7 people saying in the chat, I can hear you? If you guys can hear me, okay. But yeah, so when I first came to Houston, I thank you, Nikisha Edler. Thank you. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I'm really sorry, but thank you so much for letting me know, because I want to make sure everybody hears me. It's okay. So I guess it's in my ear. It's in my head. Like in my head, I think I'm speaking lower, but I guess I'm speaking okay. So yes, when I first came here, I used the Care app, and I'll do like a review of it. And I did like nursing work. Like it's basically the Uber of nursing, and I could pick up work. And the work I mostly picked up was in long-term care. And some of the nurses, well, one nurse was telling me, how, we should go into the hospital because you get more experience and stuff like that. But I'm so adamant about like not going into the hospital. When I mean hospital, I mean medical hospital. I don't think I'm opposed to like psychiatric or whatever, but medical hospital. Just because, honestly, to be honest with you, I'm quite. First of all, it's really hard to get in a hospital with your associates, because that's what I have, and they want your bachelor's. But even if I did, sometimes I think like, do I really want to go to the hospital? Because sometimes I go on YouTube and I search like my experience as a med surg nurse or my experience as an ICU nurse, and I see horror stories. Even if not on YouTube, because some people are afraid to show their image, and it's fine. I see them post on like all nurses forum about like their horror stories, and I feel like I don't want to go through those horror stories. So yes, it is a fear. And another thing is being afraid of nurse bullying, because I did experience that in the beginning of my career. Now I don't experience that because I pretty much know what I'm doing. I'm learning every day. Yes, even in a long-term care facility, because I worked in long-term care facility. I worked in various settings, so I'm not gonna say I'm an expert at long-term care, but I could do it enough to obviously get a travel nursing assignment and be successful at it. But yeah, so long story short, that's part of the reason why I didn't want to go into the hospital, because of nurse bullying and because of nurse burnout and just hearing those kind of things, and of course the new virus that has hit is a factor. And some people can say, well, if you're a nurse, he's signed up for it. And it's like, when people say that, I'm like, okay, if you don't like what I say, you could just click off. But I feel like nurses didn't really sign up to be infected and by a virus and not having enough PPE and stuff like that. And now things are much better. There is enough PPE and stuff like that. But I feel like if somebody doesn't want to put themselves in that predicament, like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it's a risk, and I understand everything is a risk. Driving a car is a risk. Like, going out is a risk. But some people don't want to take it, and I guess that's fine. But recently I was like, what, I'm open to working in the hospital, because simply because one of the main reasons why I decided to go back as an RN is because I was going through certain difficulties as an LPN when I was working in that time I was working, and I was living in Sugarland. For those of you guys who knew me for a while or watched my old videos, you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. I went through some stuff. I went through some certain injustices, like me having 17 patients and the RN only having like, I think, 6 or 5, and me being told, well, the reason why you have this amount of patients and the RN has a little bit is because you're an LPN. And then also, so that's number one, like being treated unfairly, and number two, um wanting to go into different roles as a nurse because it's like so broad. But every time I apply online, it's like, oh, well, do you have your RN? Like everybody's like, do you have your RN? Do you have your RN? So when I initially started RN school, the first thing I did was I took a notebook and I wrote down a list of reasons as to why I wanted to become an RN. Because I'm like, I know nursing school is hard. I know it's really hard. So I got to write down a list of why I want to become an RN. And one of the reasons is because I get to change my roles. Like, you know what I mean? Guys, money isn't everything. Money is important, but it's not everything. And I just wanted to be at least like decently happy and not dread going into work and stuff like that. So yeah, fast forward to now, like I said, I moved from New York to Texas really quickly, and I had to take a job. Um, and I found a job that I'm really, really grateful for, and it's working in a long-term care facility. And you know, while it's not the best of the best, I can say that it's I can say that compared to the ones in New York, at least, it's one of the it's one of the better ones. I'll put it like that. But recently, then again, I experienced some like unfair, treatment and just a lot of things that I didn't really like, and I just felt and I just felt like very sad about that because I'm like, dang, like I went back to school. Hey, Kimberly. Kimberly says, "Hey, let's put your comment on the screen so you could see." Let's see. So Kimberly says, "Hey, girly, I'm still pushing. I was so ashamed for not being done. Oh, it's okay, girl. You will be done. You will eventually finish. Um, done." Let's say she said, "I was having some challenges, but I'm back in my program. It's always good to see you." It's really good to see you too, Kimberly. It's really good to see you. So yeah, my advice is like keep pushing. You will make it, and I hope this video is not going to be discouraging. It shouldn't be. I still say push forward, push towards your goal, and you definitely will make it. Every program is made differently. I feel like my program was really blessed, but it doesn't matter how hard or easy the program is. As long as you're dedicated and you remain focused, you go. But I'm sorry you had some challenges, and it's okay because we're in the middle of a pandemic. Like the last thing somebody wants to think of is a nursing exam or a care plan. Like, it's okay. Give yourself a pat on the back and dust your shoulders off and keep going. I feel like one thing I'm learning as well as a perfectionist is that it's okay if you make a mistake because like it's like kind of like fall forward. Like when you make a mistake, you learn. I know it sounds so weird, but when I used to study for my NCLEX, I would get excited. I would get excited when I would get a question wrong because if I know I'm getting a question wrong, that rationale, when I read it and I understand it, I know that I'm learning something so that the next time I see that question, I'm going to get it right. When I get a question right, I'm like, okay, sounds I'm like, yeah, just like pat myself on the back. But it's in those questions that you get wrong, that's how you learn. Like, sometimes it could be painful, but yeah, keep going, Kimberly. Yay, keep going, Kimberly. Kimberly, I declare and decree, Kimberly Lesby, you will be a RN, registered nurse, okay? All right. So, yeah, I hope that was encouraging. But yeah, and I hope this video is not discouraging. Everybody's situation is different. So, okay, so yeah, long story short, long story short, I've just said amen, gorgeous. Yes, amen, amen. Yeah, I went to Joel Osteen today. I went to Joel Osteen Church for the first time, and I loved it. He had a really good message. But it's really hard to like hold on to it and think about it like when negative thoughts come. Like you have to, I think it's really a skill to have, quite frankly. But yeah, so maybe you guys can help me with this issue. So yeah, so basically, like I said, I've been running into some of the same issues that I ran into as an LPN, and I'm thinking like, okay, maybe it's the setting, maybe it's because the same long-term care. Maybe I should try this. Maybe I should try that. And I guess that's my main struggle. Because when you're an LPN and you look at the RNs, and I guess when you're RN and you look at the NPs, and when you're NP, you look at the maybe MDs, you always think that that person has it so good, that they never get disrespected and they never get unfair assignments, and like their day goes perfect because they have that title and people respect them because they have that education. And I'm not gonna say that I get no respect for being RN. I'm not gonna say that at all. Like I do notice like a bump up of respect and stuff like that. However, I still notice like certain things that I noticed as an LPN, like certain like misdistribution of assignments, like unfair distribution of assignments, people with attitudes, people talking to you. I mean, at you, not to you, and stuff like that. And it's like, you know what I mean? And I know like it could be like, yeah, it could be career wise, but I think it could be like, those kind of things like play on your self esteem, and it just makes you very sad because it's like you go to school and you work your butt off. Like you go to school and you work your butt off, you study from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., from sunrise to sunset, and you expect to get compensated for that. You expect not just in money, not just in dollar amounts. You expect to get a fair treatment. Fair treatment. You expect to get a fair assignment. So if I get 6 patients, you expect Nurse Jamie to get 6 patients too. Or if you're talking to me about an issue, I expect you to talk to me like an adult because I am an adult and you are an adult. I may look young, but I don't give a flying fork. I don't give a flying pig. Whatever. Um, I still expect to get treated with respect because I am a registered nurse. And the fact that I have that title behind my name, Kimberly, a registered nurse, that means I work my butt off. That means I have the ability to educate, to assess, to teach, to do everything. So I deserve that respect and I deserve to be treated good. And when I don't know something, I feel like I should be taught and someone should walk me through it and teach me, But now the more and more I talk about it, I think probably a lot of it has to do with the specific facility or whatever. But my main thing is, and also when you see roles that, sometimes I see roles that I do want to apply for, and I see that it's always like, oh well, we require 2 years of experience or 3 years experience, and it's frustrating because I remember when I first graduated as an LPN, and I saw everywhere you need experience. But now, if you graduate as an LPN, at least in New York, I know you can find a job like that, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, like God, why? Because I've been trying so hard, I've been working so hard, and yeah, I've been working so hard. I work hard for this license, and then people are saying that I can't do it because I don't have this experience. Like, why don't you give me a chance? So that's been frustrating. That's been really frustrating, and it could take a toll on you because you know for those guys who are in nursing school, you know how hard nursing school is. So if you're sacrificing all of this time, effort, and energy, you want by the end of it for you to get a job, for you to get a career that you actually enjoy, that you actually go and like at least it's decent, like you know what I mean? So like that you don't dread going in there, that you're not dragging your feet to go in there. Um, but unfortunately there's still like pettiness and petty drama, this and that. So Yeah, so guys, that's what I wanted to say. I have 11 people watching. Can I get 11 likes? But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to just talk about like the struggles of transitioning from LPN to RN. um I have ideas of like exactly what roles I want to do as an RN, but those specific roles they ask for experience, and it's almost like, well, how do I get my foot in the door? Okay. One of my friend actually, she got, maybe you guys will meet her soon, but she got like a management position right away, but she actually turned it down because she was like she just didn't like the vibe of the place, stuff like that. And I'm like, you would turn that down, like a management position? And that's another thing about management position. I wouldn't mind to take a management position if and only if I don't get an on-call phone. That's the thing. Like, a lot of people say, like, sometimes when you're like assistant director of nursing or director of nursing, you have to get an on-call phone. And if that's what it requires to be an ADON or DON or unit manager or whatever, then I don't want that, because I want to have a life. And that's one of the major things I look at when it comes to like choosing a job is will this job allow me to have a life, because life is too short. Money is good, but there's other ways to make money. um Eve says, I never want to be an RM, but it's hard as an LPN. And you know what? That's fine. That's the thing. Like, sometimes, and this is really candid. Sometimes I even think like, oh my God, why did I? This sounds really bad. Sometimes I even think like, oh my God, why did I go back for my RN if I'm doing the same thing as LPN, and I feel like I'm not being respected, this and that. But my friend is like, my friend who's an RN who graduated with me, she was like, Kimberly, don't say that. Just keep pushing forward and keep applying, and something else will open for you, you know? Um, but Eve, um, I would say, eventually, I always say, as an OPN, I always say, don't stay in LPN, whether it's you go into something else or you go into RN, just don't stay as an LPN forever, because LPN pays decent, but it's not like something you want to stay in, you know? Demetria Lovett says, I'm in LPN school now. Do you have any tips for AMP? Oh, for anatomy and physiology, just memorize, memorize, memorize. AMP is all about memorizing. If you can memorize, you got it. And take it very seriously, because it really coincides with what you're studying in nursing school, okay? Um, so, yes. Let's see what Kimberly Leslie says. Kimberly says, unfortunately, I don't think that will change. The disrespect is everywhere. I experienced so much nurse bullying. Looking younger and being soft spoken does work against you. Keep your light shining. Oh, thank you, Kimberly. Yeah, so me and Kimberly could relate. Yeah, I think like sometimes when you're younger and or you look younger, whatever, or you have a soft, even if you don't look younger, like if you have a soft spoken voice or you just have like a positive personality, I feel like, and this is real talk, like now I'm being really real, like some people are upset when you're happy at work, and that is a thing, and that is scary, and that is sad. And I feel like it's because if someone sees you're happy, you're joyful, you're laughing, you're singing, like, and then they feel like their life is bad, and the person could be a CNA, LPN, RN, management, not management, gender, it doesn't matter. They could be anyone in a healthcare setting. If they see you're happy, sometimes that bothers people because they feel like their life is bad or they don't like their life. So when, like, it's almost like sometimes you feel like when you go to work, you gotta look mad, you gotta look angry, because if you look happy, then that will put you as a target, and they'll try to like maybe put more work on you or pick on you or bother you or whatever that is. And that is really, really sad to say, okay? But sometimes I do feel like that. I'm gonna be completely honest. And that's not good, because like when you if you always have that mindset, when you go out on your real life, like outside of work, if you may still bring that with you and look mad to other people, and that may block the people that is meant to be in your life from going in your life, because you're so used to being mad. Like, okay, well, I'm at, like, you may forget to turn it off. So, so that may be an issue. So that's why I say, yeah. So just be careful with that. Like I said, I don't have the answers to everything. That's why I love YouTube and I love you guys, because I could come on here and get your guys' opinion. I don't care if you're not a nurse or if you're a nurse. It doesn't matter. You could be a vision tech, whatever. You guys can put your 2 cents into it. Eva E says best RN job is admission hospice nurse. Easy, but a lot of driving. Yes, it is. Yes, that's the thing. Like, even with that, you have to find a place where. That's the thing. That's another thing I'm coming to a roadblock with. Some of these jobs, they may, like, I found, like, this one woman I met in my job. She's an admissions hospice nurse, and she comes to our nursing home and she helps. But the thing is that she doesn't have health insurance. And I was like, okay, well, what do you think you're gonna do? And she's like, well, just living like that. But I don't feel like that is too wise, because I mean, I've had instances where I had to go to the ER abruptly, even as a young person. So, and then also, everything is a risk. You go outside, you drive a car every day, everything is a risk. You need health insurance. Health insurance is very, very important. And I know there's a struggle, and some people go into heavy debt because they don't have health insurance, and their ER visit. I remember she told me her ER visit costs like $4,000, and they're paying her very handsomely, and that's great. But at the same time, health insurance is so imperative, and health insurance is so important. Like, it's really important. Wow, I got 17 people watching. Can I get 17 likes? Hit the like button, guys, if you guys like what you're watching. But yeah, so health insurance is super duper important. So some of these jobs don't have the best health insurance jobs. Some of these jobs do, and I was considering that too. But I guess I'm still considering that. But I just got my car, and I don't want to put so much mileage in it. And yeah, so even that is a struggle, because I feel like somewhere down along the road, you're gonna have to pay for that, because your car is suffering the wear and tear. But I do agree with that. I feel like if you're an admissions hospice nurse, don't totally turn it down, because admissions hospice nurse, think about it. You just drive from place to place. You assess the patient, and then you document their decline instead of their upcline, because they're in hospice, right? Because they're dying. So I feel like that's a good job too, because you're working independently. Yes, you collaborate with other the other team members of the healthcare field, but like, you are independent, which is good. So I would feel comfortable to, like, let my hair down and look cute and stuff like that, because I know, I'm not gonna encounter anyone who's gonna have a problem with me being happy. That's sad. Okay, Kimberly says, thanks, Eva E. When I graduate, I will look into that. Yeah, look into that. So I feel like the main things to consider when choosing a job is, like, it's more than that. So this is, I guess, this video, I hope it will help someone. This is not a discouragement video. If you're an LPN, maybe this will give you light. Maybe you still want to, maybe you don't want to do RN, maybe you do want to do RN. This video is not to discourage an LPN from going back to school to go be an RN. This video is not to discourage anyone who's in nursing school, who's in RN school. But this video is just me being completely honest. Today is April 11th, 2021. I may change my mind 4 months from now, 3 months from now, tomorrow. But this is just basically how I feel, and I'm being completely candid. There are some RNs who were LPNs before who have a completely different view from me. So don't take my word as gospel. I could be doing something wrong. I don't know. And when I mean something wrong, I mean, like, maybe I'm not looking correctly. Maybe my resume needs to be revamped. Like, one of my friends told me, like, maybe Kimmy should work on your resume, make it better or whatever. But this is just me. I'm gonna make sure my mouth looks okay. But this is just me being like very candid, is that sometimes I had really sad thoughts, like thinking like, oh my God, why did I go back to school as an RN? Because first of all, I got more loans. And then number two, I'm not even in the position that I want to be in. I feel like I'm not getting that respect. I feel like there's still petty drama. I feel like there's still misdistribution of assignment. I still feel like I'm getting a whole lot of work, but this nurse is not getting a whole lot of work because of favoritism, blah, 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 blah. So I still feel like that, and it's disappointing. And the upside to it is that the upside, I guess I would say, to becoming an RN. I mean, this video is entitled Struggles. I probably even spelled transitioning wrong because I'm so over it. But I guess the upside to it is that I don't have to. I'm not struggling. By the grace of God, I'm not struggling to pay bills. Like, I know I always have a job, and that is always there. But Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like, at some point, you want to feel fulfilled in your job. So. Oh, Nurse C says, I missed the start of the video. What was the topic? Oh, I'm so sorry. You guys don't see the title? I'm sorry. So the Nurse C, the topic of this video is struggling with transitioning from an LPN to an RN. Just the struggles like I've been facing in terms of like trying to find a job that I enjoy. And just basically going through some of the same things I did as an LPN and feeling frustrated. Like, yes, my pay went up. Yes, my pay went up, but I still find myself going through the same things. And it's like, I remember, like I said, I had a notebook and I wrote down a list of reasons why I wanted to become an RN to push me through the program. And I'm seeing the same things that I went through as LPN. I'm going through as an RN. So that's kind of like depressing, I guess. So that's what it was about. Okay. Right. Being an RN is where the money resides. This is our harsh reality. Yeah. And not only that, but like when they say being an RN is where the money resides, it's like, yes, that's true. But if you want to make like really big, big, big money as an RN, you have to work in the hospital. Okay. So if you really want to work like big, big, big money, the hospital is where it's at. And it's not just because of COVID. I think even before COVID, the hospital is where it's at because the patient, but you have to also think about it is like, what kind of person are you? Like, the patients are more prone to decline. Like, you have to be on it. You have to really be aware, and you can do it if you want to. I don't see anything wrong with like building those skills and then like maybe doing med surg for a year or so and going on, because then you always have those skills and no one can tell you nothing. Okay. But it is I feel like it is really difficult because patients can change the drop of a hat. You have to do everything for your patients, like, you know everything, from CNA work up to RN work. And that could be a lot. That could be very taxing on the body, especially if you have certain back issues or certain health issues. Like, that could be a lot, and you do put yourself at risk. I feel like more at risk when you work in a hospital versus working in other settings. But when you're working in settings, it's a risk too. So, but yeah, the big money is at the hospital. But I don't see anything wrong with working in a hospital. And even when you want to go in the hospital, it's like sometimes they have like, well, you have to be a BSN, you have to do this, you have to do that. But that's not everywhere, guys. This is not all straight across the board. Don't paint that with all the same brush. It depends on your state, yada, yada, yada. All right, guys, I see 13 people watching. Can I get 13 likes? All right. Aaron Essential said, I was a CNA. I'm tired of the healthcare field. It'll make your mental health bad. Too many demons, nurses, doctors, CNAs pretending to help the health will eat there with them. I mean, I understand what you're saying. Unfortunately, there is negativity, and there's negativity, and really, um, yeah, there's negativity. And by the way, guys, if you don't want me to show your comment, just put don't show as in the parentheses before you post it. Because I know I'm using StreamYard. Yeah, unfortunately, there is negativity in every profession, but yeah, in the healthcare field, like unfortunately, there is a lot, and I've actually seen it as um, even as a patient, which is sad. So that's why I try to be that difference and that change. Like as a RN, when I'm giving care, I try to give my all and like treat the person right because they're a freaking human being, you know. But I understand about like that. I understand. Nurse C says, I don't even know that. Like honestly, Aaron, like yeah. So I'm trying to figure this out myself. Like that. But one thing I do know is that I like education. Like I love teaching people. Um, I love medicine, but I don't like the drama around it. Like let's just make it strictly about the patients and that's it. Nurse C says, would you do home health full time? What is your dream specialty? So right now I am considering doing home health full time just because um and like some people would say like it was running away from your problems, but I don't feel like it's running away from your problems because if you see an environment and you see that like everybody has a certain attitude, you're being treated a certain way, and you know in home health you'll flourish. I don't see anything wrong with that. Yes, there's dark sides to home health too. If you guys don't know, I made some videos about home health. Y'all can check that out. So there is some things to that, but yes, I would consider doing home health full time, maybe until I find my purpose, my niche, or whatever. So I guess that's what you could say. My goal is to find my purpose. So, what is your dream specialty? Okay, my dream specialty, I would say, I guess in nursing is probably to work in like maybe case management or, um, yeah, I really enjoyed the clinic as an LPN. I feel like that was one of my best roles, like working as a clinic. That was so much fun. There was some catty drama too, but it wasn't as bad as the freaking nursing home or yeah, as a nursing home. And I also liked uh, what else? Aesthetics is nice. What else is nice? Hospice is nice. Like Eve mentioned, hospice is nice. That is Everything can have stress, but anything that is like low stress, low drama, and good pay. Okay, low stress, low drama, and good pay, and then like professional people to work with, like working with class, like people who are professional. You know, like people who have you know like professional people. Okay, like people who like to work together as a team. Um, so I guess that's not really answering, but I guess that is what it is. All right, nurse C. It says I work pediatric home health, and the only struggle is the parents. Ugh. Would you travel nurse or relocate back to New York City or Cali where the money really resides? Yeah, but nurse C, my friend said the same exact thing you say. You nurses that say, "Oh, go to New York or California where the money resides." The cost of living. That's the thing. When you go to California or New York, you have to consider the cost of living. So it balances out. Okay? So, it balances out. But would I travel nurse? I probably, yeah, if I wanted to, I would. But I feel like now it's not worth it unless you have like a travel nurse hospital job because that's where the real money is. And in order to do travel nurse hospital, you need 2 years of experience. And I'm not working in a hospital right now. Um, yes, pediatric home health is nice. I really liked it, but yes, I do agree. The struggle is the parents, and just weird drama with that too. Like especially if you're a young woman and you're taking care of a baby and you see both parents. Some people could think certain stuff. I don't gotta go too deep. Like y'all adults, y'all know. So that's the thing. Human beings are emotional people. You got to put all that in there. But yeah, that's my. Would I relocate back to New York or Cali? Um, I mean, that all depends on number one, God, and number two, like what I like. Like so far, I know that New York is nice in the sense where I feel like if I wanted a nurse management job, I would find like that in New York. But it's just the lifestyle. That's the thing. Like when you're choosing a job, a state, a country, a lifestyle, you gotta think about how you want to live. Like when you wake up, like you know, do you want to take the train every day? Do you want to drive every day? If you drive every day, you want to drive in traffic every day. Like, do you want health insurance? These are the main. Okay, let's go over the main factors and the main pointers we have to look at when we are choosing a job when we graduate. The first thing, and this is a great advice for those of you guys who are in nursing school. The first thing you got to look at is how much the job is paying. Of course, that's very important. Don't listen to anyone who says, "Oh, it's not important," because I'm paying real bills out here. It is important. So the first thing you got to look at is how much you're paying. And before you look at that, you have to think about like, okay, what state you want to live in. And before you look at what state you live in, you have to look at what kind of lifestyle do you want to live, what kind of people do you want to be around. Every state has good and bad areas. If you live in this state versus this state, like for example, in Texas, like you could live in a really good neighborhood for cheaper, and it may make more sense as a nurse to choose that state if you want, or Tennessee or whatever. So yeah, but some people like I don't care if I have to spend a lot of money. I want to live in New York. You can live in New York. Like for example, when I first began working as an LPN, I was in New York, and that made more sense for me to stay in New York because I was also chasing a dream of being an actress and doing all that. So that made more sense. So I could go on auditions and stuff like that in New York. Okay. At one point, I even would dreamt about being in Cali for acting, so that would make more sense. Or some people like New York because of the hustle bustle. Because one of my friends, her name is Kimberly too. She's from Houston, and she moved to New York because she was in Houston her whole life, and she just wanted to have that New York life, that New York minute. And New York can be very beautiful, especially in Christmas with the tree and stuff like that. So that's another thing you have to look at. Some states, some states have more opportunities than others in certain parts, so that's important. Another thing you have to look at is insurance. Sometimes you could find the best job ever, but it may not have any insurance, and health insurance is so important because look at the pandemic. Like in life, you need health insurance, okay? Which is what I'm going through right now because my birthday's coming up soon. And I need insurance. So so that's another thing is insurance. Another thing is look at is freedom. Like if you put in a slip like, hey, I want to be off in this weekend, like, and that really bothers me, by the way. But I'm used to working agency. Like, hey, can I have this off? Like that kind of bothers me. That I have to ask, So, you gotta look at that. So you gotta find something that is like decent. Do you want to work 12 hours versus 8 hours? I thought I wanted to work 8 hours, and I'm thinking maybe I want to work 12 hours because most of my family is in New York. So if I want to go to New York, and I have friends in New York, if I want to go to New York for 4 days, like if I work 12 hours, that will be possible. Or if I want to take a quick trip to Florida or California, that will be possible if I work 12 hours. Yes, I will be tired, but at least. So you gotta look at that. And then a lot of people don't want to talk about that as what do you want to expose yourself to? Um, some hospitals, they have patients on, like, for example, brachytherapy, and yes, you can wear, I forgot what it's called, somebody put in the comments if you remember. It's like a device that you wear on you to measure the amount of radiation that you're exposed to, and every nurse has to wear it. I don't know if every hospital does it, but do you want to even put yourself at risk for being around that? I mean, you know that is very hard. At the end of the day, yeah, you want to take care of your patients, but if you have kids at home, do you want to bring that home? Do you want to work in a place where they could have MRSA and C. diff and put your kids at risk? So all of that ties into it, you know? Or if you want to be in a management position, do you want that on-call phone? That means at 2 a.m., if you're sleeping with your husband or your boyfriend or whatever, or if you're sleeping by yourself, like I do. Do you want to be bombarded at 2 a.m. with, oh, this patient, something happened with this patient? I don't want to. You know, like this one woman in my job, she's like, oh, yeah, why don't you go for that? But I don't, like, you don't have no kids, you don't have a husband. Like, I don't care. I still don't want to be bothered at 2 a.m. if a patient falls. I don't want to be bothered with that. It's not that I don't care. It's just that I need to have a life. In order for me to give to my patients, I have to give to myself. And a lot of times I feel like nurses can relate to the song Save the Hero by Beyonce. If you guys go on YouTube and search Save the Hero by Beyonce and you guys hear the lyrics, I feel like a lot of nurses can relate to that because like everything is a nurse, like something happened. And I guess that's another struggle with being from LPNs to RN. Like everybody looks at you. Like now you can't be like, oh, get the RNs to do that. No, you are the RN. No, you have to assess. No, you have to do everything. So it's like everything on you. Nurse C says, I like case management too, but that I can't do on Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and not wear my scrubs. Oh, you see? That's the thing. See, that's the thing about me. I don't mind not wearing scrubs. I think it's nice to look cute in your little outfit, like your little pantsuit or skirt suit, and wear your heels and click, click, click down the hallway. I think that's excellent. Um, and Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, I used to like it, but I feel like in order to do 9 to 5, you have to really like your job because you're working every single day. And I understand that you want a day off. So I understand that too. But I feel like I wouldn't mind that. As long as I had great health insurance and a certain amount of weeks I could take off from work, like I don't mind that. So yeah, guys. So yeah, that's the reality of being a new RN. That's the reality of being a new RN and going from LPN to RN. And another thing I hate is that when people say you don't have any nursing experience, I cannot curse because this is YouTube. But anytime when someone says, "Well, you don't have any nursing experience," I feel like telling them, "Who do you think you are telling me that I don't have any nursing experience?" No. LPN or LVN, whatever part of the country you're on, stands for Licensed Vocational Nurse or Licensed Practical Nurse, which means I had to deal with patients. I had to assess them, even though LPNs don't assess. I had to treat. I had to give medications, even if that's all I did. I don't care. I had to give medications. I had to look at labs. I had to communicate with doctors. And yeah, exactly, nurse. See, I was a nurse for years. I had to do everything. The end of my name was a nurse, and people needed me. Yes, licensed practical nurse, licensed vocational nurse stands for that. Just what it's saying. It has the nurse at the end, so that's what I was. So I hate when people say, "Oh, you don't have experience with LPN." Oh no, but you need RN experience, please. I hate hearing that. I absolutely hate hearing that because like someone discounts all those years, all that time. Like, no, that counts because I'm still a nurse as an LPN. I'm still a nurse. Okay. Now that I'm RN, that LPN, LVN experience should count towards that. And I feel like somebody who really knows their stuff knows that it does count towards that. It does. What LPNs and LVNs do are extremely important, you know? So that's another thing that's frustrating. But yeah, guys, I'm just trying to stay positive, and but that's basically where I am right now. Just struggling through finding my footing, finding my direction, finding like exactly what I want to do. But one thing is, I cannot take mistreatment. I cannot take Like I cannot, certain stuff I took as LPN, like I cannot take it as RN because I worked my butt off to get that RN license. Okay. Nurse C, would you further your education or are you content where you are? That's the thing. Most people are going for their bachelor's as associates, and sometimes I'm like, yeah, I want to go for it. But sometimes I feel discouraged to go for my bachelor's because I'm like, if I'm doing the same thing I was as an LPN now as an RN, like, what would be the point of getting my BSN? What, to just give an institution my money? Like, hey, here's my money, here's my money. So, yes, eventually I'll go back for my bachelor's because I know I need it. But do I feel motivated? Hell no, I don't feel motivated because I don't see the point. If somebody can drop down below, if somebody can drop a comment down below why it's imperative for me to get my bachelor's, if you have a good reason, if you have a reason, like when you get your bachelor's, you will become this, put it down below. But if you don't, you don't. I mean, so. But yeah, for now, I'm content where I am. But of course, for my family, my mom, from Mama Bear, my mom is obviously like pushing me to get your BSN. But I feel like some people, some generations don't understand that like the same rules that rule the world in your time doesn't rule the world in my time. I'm not saying that education is not important, but it's just like now I don't feel motivated. All right, let's see. M. Price says, 1095 says, I'm not sure if it's true, but I heard that Houston is competitive for RN because they really don't have a nursing shortage. In my facility, they have a nursing shortage, but my facility is long-term care. Maybe the hospitals. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I read a few things online. Um, Yeah, and Price, before I came here, I read a few things online saying that Houston does have a nursing shortage. But I'm the type of person, like, you could tell me up and down, oh, don't do this. I have to see for myself. So I was like, I don't care. I'm going to Houston because I went to Houston as an LPN and I survived. I was definitely survived, not only survive, but thrive as an RN financially. And yes, I am. But fulfillingly, no. But I think it is competitive, but I wouldn't say it's like impossible to find a job. No, you just have to be willing to. Your job that you will take may not be able to. It may not be your dream job, but you will find a job as a nurse. I mean, you're a nurse. When you're a nurse, you can find a job anywhere. You just have to keep applying, keep trying, and sometimes if you need, like, for example, that app I mentioned, the care app, even if you're RN, some of the jobs there, they'll put you as a LPN, but it doesn't matter, you will make it. So there's apps, there's agencies, there's all kinds of stuff that they're willing to hire you because they really need nurses. So I wouldn't say, oh no, there's a nursing, it's competitive. Like, it's competitive in finding certain jobs like L&D, OR, but in general, if you just want to make it to Houston and you just want to make it there, you desperate, you're going to find one for sure. So that's one thing that's true. Nursing jobs are everywhere. Nursing. But Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I'm trying to avoid the sun, guys. Let's see. Nursing says apply for pediatric clinic nurse, health department, health insurance company, visiting home health, or one-to-one. Yes, I am considering doing visiting home health. The thing about the home health here is like to make the big bucks. It's not really big bucks, but decent bucks. You have to work with like patients on ventilators and stuff like that, and trach, and I don't mind, but it's like it's not like my dream position. But yeah, I am considering that. Health insurance companies. Yeah, some of these companies do require experience too, but I'm gonna look into that. Health department, I'm gonna look into that too. Pediatric clinic nurse, a lot of them require you to have experience. Oh my god, it's hot. Okay, nurse C says, or apply to teach LPNs at a school. I never looked into that, but I have my associates. Can you do it with your associates? I don't know. All right. Kimberly Lusby says, I was a school nurse for 2 semesters and it was interesting, but it's not for me. Really? I would love to be a school nurse. I think that would be excellent because I love children. I love kids. Kids love me, I think. Do they love me? I think they do. Well, when I was a pediatric home care nurse, they did. But I never really worked with the school age population. You know, I've had 2 people tell me I could work with adolescents, like teenagers. Maybe because I'm not a teenager and I'm not an older adult, so maybe I'm in the middle. Maybe I could understand them more. Um, I wouldn't be opposed to working with teenagers because, well, it wasn't too long ago since I was a teenager. Okay. Um, Nursey says, "Oh yes, I would love to work school nursing." Right? Oh, that's nice. And they said that you could break up your pay in such a way where you could get paid during the summer and you could go out. So yeah, that's a nice little cute job. Like I said, those cute jobs, like you may not make as much as you would like working in a hospital. So just think about that too. You may not make as much, but at least you'll be happy. And I feel like happiness is the most important. But some jobs that I did see online, like Indeed, for school nurse, they said that they want you to have at least a year experience as a registered nurse, and I don't have a year yet. I have 10 people watching. Can you guys hit the like button? Hit the like button. Michael Martin says, "Thank you for your videos, beautiful. I passed my TSI. What? Looking at your videos years ago, Queen. Oh, congratulations for passing your TSI on your way to nursing school. Congratulations." And that's another thing I'm looking into. Um, is like teaching in that regard with you guys. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Uh, I definitely want to talk more. I definitely would like to talk about that. Hold on, guys. All right. Well, congratulations, Martin. Let's get the like up. The TSI. The TSI is the. Oh, I'm sorry. The TSI is the Texas Success something. It's like a placer exam. Like if you're going to college, just regular college, you don't have to be in nursing. It's just a test to see if you would need to take remedial math or remedial science. But there's ways to study it so you can bypass remedial because remedial wastes time and money. But if you really need it, you really need it. But yeah, I made a video on that. Nurse C says, "I can see you working psych nursing at the adolescent unit, counseling and providing medication management." Oh, okay. I'm gonna look into that. Yeah, a lot of people have told me I could work with adolescents. I wonder why. I wonder what about me do you guys think that I could work with adolescents? Maybe because I'm sweet. I don't know. But yeah, I would love to work with. That's another dream of mine. Like I would love to work with young teenagers who feel like lost and who feel like depressed or anxious because I've been that teenager. Um, I mean, every teenager has been through that, like, right? Like, you're going through a lot of hormone changes, especially nowadays with social media. Like, when I was a teenager, yeah, we did have social media. Yeah, we have social media and stuff like that, but it wasn't as profound. Like, right now, it's all up in your face. And it could be very stressful. So, I would love to work with teenagers. Yeah, I would love that. I can't wait till I have a niece or nephew so I can spoil them. Okay. Yeah, TSI, Texas Success Initiative, is like a placer exam. Okay, Kimberly Leslie says, "Congrats, Michael." Yes, congrats. No, Noelle's Life says, "I'm doing LPN to RN Bridge now." Hey, congrats, girl. Keep going. Wow. Michael Martin says, "Thank you. I'm working on my master's now." Congrats, Michael. You're welcome, Michael. You're welcome. Yeah, so yeah, guys. So yeah, that's what I've been going through. But since I have a lot of you guys here right now, like 14 people, are getting 14 likes. I know I'm coming out with this Tuesday, mark your calendars. Tuesday, I'm going to be doing my first ever live med-surg study session. So I'm gonna guys give you kind of like a sneak peek of like what you guys can expect. I am working on my course, but the course, so if you guys who's been watching this far will know, the course will have to be a separate paid thing, because the course is taking up a lot of my time and a lot of my energy. It's not explaining, but I wanted to show you guys my med surge thing so you guys can see. Okay. So yes, guys, I wanted to show you. This is an example of my cardiovascular study session that I've been working on, and you guys are gonna see that soon. And I've also been working just like different stuff that you guys can see from me. And yes, and I wanted to show you guys something else. Let's see. Yes, now I will show y'all. Now I will show you guys. So yeah, so this is a study session that I'm getting ready to show you guys. Can you guys see that? Let's see. Stop screen. Share. So yeah, guys, this is gonna be like a little bit of a sneak peek. Thank you, Kimberly. This is gonna be like a little sneak peek of something I've been working on for you guys. So this is med-surg study questions. Let's see if you guys can answer this. Let's do one question just for fun. All right. Hi, Shika Anna. So let's do one question. Let's do one question just for fun to see if you guys can answer this. Let's see. Okay. So, all right. So this question states, hold on. Is there a better way I could do this? No, this way is good. All right. So let's see who can answer this. Yes, Nursey, I'm fancy. So I'm looking at my phone here. All right. So let's see. Let's start with this. Oh, yeah. So this is something I've been working on. It's gonna be ready Tuesday. All right. So question number 1. It says, you are working the evening shift. After receiving shift report on your patients from the previous nurse, which patient should you assess first? Is it A, post-op patient request for PRN IV medication for pain? B, patient who frantically demands the nurse to change her wound bed dressing, saying, oh my God, please, change my dressing. C, patient who is diaphoretic and shaky. Or D, patient Jamie, who says that there is pain at the IV site post-placement, okay? So basically what I'm teaching you guys is to learn how to think how I think, okay? So who can guess this answer, first of all? Who can guess this answer? I'll wait. Who can guess this answer? C? Nurse C says C. Okay. Nurse C says C. All right. All right, so to teach you how I think through this question is the first thing that should pop out to you is the word first, okay? So the question is asking you, which patient should you see first? And when you see first, you think about which one is urgent. Like, so if you don't see this patient right now, in the next 15 seconds, the patient could decline like that. In the next 15 seconds, the patient could like go down extremely, right? So I see, okay, so M. Price says D, a patient who says that there's pain at the IV site. Other person, Igho Ogbeda says C, a patient who's diaphoretic and shaky. Okay, so you have four options here. You have A, post-op patient request for PRN IV medication for pain. You have B, patient who frantically demands. Okay, so post-op patient request for PRN IV medication for pain. So yes, this is understandable, because if a patient just came from surgery, 9 times out of 10, they can be in a lot of pain, especially if it's a major surgery. So this is understandable. However, this is not the most, like, if the patient doesn't get it right now, the patient's not going to die. The patient could be in a lot of pain. And yes, as nurses, we do take pain seriously. Pain is very serious, because pain can make the blood pressure rise, pain can make the pulse rise, and pain can delay healing and stuff like that, because the body is in pain. So that's important, but that is not the most important. B, patient who frantically demands a nurse to change her wound dressing. Yes, we have those patients who are very impatient. It's not their fault, okay? Sometimes, yeah, their wound dressing may, they may be very anxious about it, okay? So we don't have to go through the emotional reasons why. It's okay if they're frantic, but this is not an emergency. If you change, you have to think about it like that. Like, if you change this wound, if you don't change this wound in the next 15 seconds, will they die? Like, no, they won't. Patient who is diaphoretic and shaky. Now, diaphoretic and shaky, as soon as I hear diaphoretic and shaky, I see something physical. Now, that's one thing. You have to remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Physical. The physical is the most important thing. You need food, water, shelter. That's the main thing you need before you think about love and safety and all that, right? So if someone is diaphoretic and shaky, like, imagine somebody just being shaky in front of you. Like, wouldn't you be concerned? Wouldn't you be like, okay, somebody needs to call 911. This person needs help. So diaphoretic, sweating, and shaky is important because it's a physical. D, patient Jamie, who says that there is pain at the IV site post-placement. Now, pain is an important factor. IV site post-placement, that can be infiltration. And infiltration is important too. You don't want the patient to get an infection in the vein, you know? You don't want phlebitis to occur. You don't want those things to happen. However, between D and C, what would you say is most important? Patient who's diaphoretic and shaky, that patient could be a diabetic, and that patient could have low blood sugar. And if a patient has low blood sugar, they can go into a coma, okay? They can die, okay? If a patient's blood sugar isn't low enough, the patient can die. And the patient may not be a diuretic. They could be having, anything could be happening. They could be having a cardiac problem. They could be having a neurological problem. So the correct answer is C, okay? Patient who is diaphoretic and shaky. And how you break that down is you find the patient who has the physical problem, because physical is always first before emotional, before anything else. And yes, pain is important. Yes, pain is important. Yes, pain is important at the IV site, because you don't want them to have phlebitis or anything. But diaphoretic and shaky, you don't know what can happen. Like I said, imagine somebody who has, like, I have pain at my IV site, but another person is shaking and sweating. That is, even just looking at it, that is important. Can we do another question? Y'all gonna take all my questions? Okay, let's see what I put. I said patient who is diabetic shaky. I said, remember the physical first, Maslow hierarchy of needs. I said, which situation needs to be addressed right now? So, which situation can wait? That's basically the thought. Okay, you guys want to do one more? Okay, we'll do one more. I don't want to. I'm going to do it Tuesday, guys. Tuesday will be the day. I'm going to make the announcement so you guys can see. Okay, I'll do one more question. And then y'all have to tune in on Tuesday. And of course, it will be recorded. All right. If you guys saw my dosage calculations videos, you guys will get this. It says, what is the equivalent to the digoxin and oxin 125 mcg? Now, in my NCLEX, I only got like maybe one or two dosage calculations questions. So what would be the answer? Anybody know? What would be the answer to this? Hmm. She said, hold on. Okay. Hold on. I should make this bigger. What would be your answer? Okay. So the correct answer is actually it's not D. It's going to be C. Nurse C. It's okay. It's going to be C. And I have such a simple way to remember this. So if you guys saw my dosage calculation video, there's one video I made basically saying that as long as, hold on. Yeah, if you guys saw my if you guys saw my dosage calculations video, you'll remember. All right. If you guys saw my dosage calculations video, you guys will remember that when it comes to this prior problem, micrograms going to milligrams is going from a smaller value to a bigger value, because micrograms are always going to be smaller than milligrams. So the way you handle this is, or the way you solve this is, yes, I just want to make sure you guys got this. So the way you handle this, or the way you solve this, is you just move the decimal places 3 places to the left. You know why? Because micrograms is smaller than milligrams, okay? So if you're going, just remember this, if you're going larger, you move it 3 decimal places to the left. And if you're going smaller, you move it 3 places to the right. So you already know that milligrams, mg, is automatically bigger than mcg. So you go from here, as you guys saw where I drew, you make an imaginary decimal point and you go 1, 2, 3, and you put the decimal point, and don't forget the 0 in front of it, and that's why it's 0.125. So I put here, just move the decimal places 3 spaces to the left when you are going from smaller to larger, okay? And refer to my dosage calculations video because I did make it, okay? So yes, the answer is C, because you're going from a smaller number to a larger number. So just remember, if the question was switched 125 milligram to mcg, you would move the decimal place 3 places to the right, okay? So you're welcome, Nurse C. So yeah, I'm so happy you guys like it. So yeah, so you guys give me more encouragement to like finish this up. I'm gonna do like maybe about 20 questions, and yeah, so I'm gonna do like maybe about 20 questions for you guys to see and to learn from. So Yeah, so that's what's one of my biggest passions is to help people learn. So that's why I've been working on these, because I know how it feels like to be been called stupid and being like, I mean, I'm telling you guys, people laughed at me when I would ask questions in my nursing class, but jokes on them because I came out as valedictorian. Okay, um, but I say this not in like a prideful way, but in a way to show you guys that I know how it feels like to not understand something and for people to judge you because you don't understand something. I know how it feels like. And my motto, I guess, my motto here at KimmyDTV is that there's no such thing as a stupid question. There's no such thing as a stupid question. I feel like a lot of things in my life I had to basically like teach myself, not just with nursing school, but with a lot of stuff I had to teach myself. And I feel for those who have to, like, especially now, like with the pandemic, like a lot of people are having to learn online. And unfortunately, some professors really don't care. Some professors are just there to get their paycheck, and I feel like that's so wrong. I don't care how much you're getting paid; like you should be there because they're going to be future nurses, and I feel like that's just something really personal to me. Like I really have a problem with a professor or a student or whatever making someone else feel stupid because they don't understand something. Like no, like if I'm able to go, like I will repeat it and repeat it and repeat it again until you get it. I remember my sister was the same with me. I used to struggle so much with math, and my sister would not give up until I knew it, and I thank her for that. But yeah, there's no such thing as a stupid question, and you can make it. Hey, Kivo. Thank you. Yes, I am blessed. Yes, I'm blessed. Thank you. I've been struggling a little bit with my LPN to RN transition, but I'm removing the struggles. I'm moving on, and I guess I'm trying to like find my path and um, find out. So I guess like with education, not I guess, I know. If I was to really go full head and pursue that, I want to do it on my way, meaning like I would set up a program, a tutor system for you guys and do it my way, because I feel like even as a professor, first of all, I heard like if you have your master's, you could be an adjunct professor, but if you want to like be a professor, you need a doctorate. School, and I don't have nothing wrong with going to school, but it's just like I feel like there's a lot of politics in that. So I would do it my way. I would do it Kimmy TV's way, just to make sure that everybody gets it. And I also like entrepreneurship and stuff like that because you already know. Kibo says, I struggle too, but you'll be okay. It's not easy transitioning. It's different, but bring the same energy to does LP and you'll be fine. Yeah, thank you, Kibo. My main issue is like just trying to find the role where I actually enjoy, where I actually like, and not go through the same drama and issues that I did as an LPN. So I think that's my main issue now. When it comes to transitioning, just feeling frustrated with like doing the same thing I did. And then when you apply for certain roles, like, oh, we want nursing experience, and like, my dude, like, I have 7 years of LPN experience. I'm like, oh, that's not experience. Like LPN, last time I heard LPN stands for licensed practical nurse, or LVN, licensed vocational nurse. Doesn't matter where you are in the country, but um, yeah, just trying to go through those loopholes. But sometimes when you see that you're going through that, you think to yourself like, maybe I'm not meant to be in this system. Maybe I'm not meant to be in this traditional system. Maybe I should just branch out and do my own thing where I can make my own rules. I like that better. Um, Kibo says, as an RN, I see those unfortunate same issues I face as the LPN. Yeah, thank you so much for validating me by saying that. That was, I guess, saying that was really depressing because, um, like I said, when I started in RN school, Um, I wrote down a list of reasons why I wanted to push on to RN school, and that was one of the main reasons. Is like the stuff I was going through, and to see if I'm going through the same thing, like that's depressing. Okay, that sounds depressing. I don't know what is. I don't know. I just thought I would get the dream out, the dream role, and this and that. But, I guess life happens. So, yeah. Nurse C says, get out of long term care. Yes, I'm definitely going to do that. I think that is causing a lot of my depression because I've been in long term care for a long time, and it is depressing because it's like you go through the same thing. So I agree, Nurse C, get out of long term care. Yes, I will. Kivo says the downplay LPN experience in New York. They downplay LPN experience in New York City, Texas too. It does take time, but there's so many paths and so many avenues to have as RN. People say that all the time, but every time I apply, like, we need experience. As an RN, I no longer feel restricted to one job because of my scope of practice. That's good. That's really good. Yeah, so I guess I just have to get this 1 year out the way, and maybe it will open up. But like I said, I'm really interested in teaching you guys. And hopefully you guys can be there to support me, and I could be there to support you guys, and that could be a real thing, because I feel like that's my dream, to help you guys get to your destiny, to help you guys get to your scholastic, because that's the thing about me. Like, I'm really good at the books. Okay, as a nurse, I can use a little bit of help. All right, but when it comes to the books, when it comes to studying something, give me a book. This is my superpower. Like, give me a book, and I can know it from the inside out. I know how to solve it. I know how to, if I'm determined, I know how to do it, and I know how to explain it to somebody so that they can understand. So it's funny watching myself on this phone. Okay. So yeah, guys. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, guys. If you guys have any, like, if you guys are watching this after the fact, like not during the live, if you guys have any advice on like um, how to go about it, like how, like, any more advice, you guys let me know. And yeah, I'm just trying to stay positive, trying to remember the reason why I became an RN, and try to stay positive in that way. And I can't wait to see you guys Tuesday for the med-surg review. So I actually got work tomorrow morning very early. So I'm going to log off of here and have some dinner. I have some rice and beans with some salmon. And yeah, just trying to stay positive. But I'm telling you, going through the same thing that you did as RN. Like, I feel like I think that's the number one thing I need to do, is what Nurse C says. Get out of long-term care. I definitely think I need to do that, because I know I'm worth so much more. Like, I worked my butt off. I have a 3.97 GPA. Like, I don't deserve to be treated that way. I don't deserve to go through the same thing I did as an LPN. Like, it's time for me to step into my role as an RN and just step into it, like emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And then I feel like that's when I'll receive it back from the universe. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. All right, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed my candid video, my candid update of me, like, being completely honest. Nursey says LTC has its own culture, no matter if you're LPN or RN. Yes, it does. Well, I don't know any other culture but the clinic and home care. I like the clinic a lot. Home care, I like. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But yeah, I do agree. LTC does have its own culture. But thank you for telling me. That culture is definitely not for me, and I don't have to stick to it because I am an RN. Yeah, so yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for staying tuned once again and watching my video. And yeah, I'm out here in Texas. And so far, other than that, like other than the work part, I'm really enjoying Houston right now. I'm really enjoying the part of town I am in right now. I'm really like one of my goals this year is to actually have fun. I've been having fun. I've been like crossing stuff off my list of things I wanted to do, um, like feeding my inner child, just like literally having fun and like actually making that a goal to have fun. Because I feel like every year is just like about work, 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 and that's just how I was raised. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with going for what you want, but at the same time, you have to put in fun. So, yeah, so far, of course, I love Texas. I love Houston. I've been loving my time here. Do I miss New York? No, I don't. I don't miss New York. I think the only thing I miss about New York is maybe Broadway because I like the theater. Um, maybe Central Park because that's a nice park, and maybe some of the hotels. Some of the hotels are very nice. And just like walking the pavement every day. Sometimes I miss that a little bit, but even that's kind of. But I love like being in my own car, being in my own space, having my own space, and not feeling like sardines, like people are on top of you. I like that. I like seeing families here. I like the cost of living. I like the lack of taxes here. Like as an RN, like that's excellent. Like there's only one federal tax. I like the you know, I like other stances on stuff. I'm not gonna talk about it because I don't want to upset people. But I like their viewpoints on certain stuff that's going on in the world, and yeah. So far, I like Houston for that reason, and I make sure that I'm around people that I want to be around, people who are pouring positivity into me. If I see negativity, I go straight away from it because I don't need no negativity in my life. So I'm making sure that anybody I hang around, anybody I'm around, that they're positive people that who are pouring into me, and I back into them. And yeah, this person's a loud car. Um, so yeah, so I hope you guys are doing well in your journeys. But yeah, this was just an honest video about the struggles of transitioning from LPN to RN. You know, some people have an easier transition. Uh, I did not. So yeah. So yeah, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Do you guys have any questions at all? I'll leave a few minutes for questions. All right, guys. So if you guys don't have any questions, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I will see you guys later. So happy you guys like StreamYard. Let me know what you guys think of StreamYard.